From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Diane Parker. Miller has our Thursday forecast, plus a Montana bear that killed a woman is euthanized after yet another run-in with humans. But first, our top story. Montana's Attorney General Austin Knudsen is pushing back against a formal complaint which accuses him of professional misconduct. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has the very latest.
A report from the office that investigates grievances against Montana attorneys claims that Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen undermined the state's judicial branch by defying Supreme Court orders and accusing justices of improper conduct. But Knudsen's office says the allegations have no merit and that they come out of a legitimate political dispute. The formal complaint comes from Timothy Strauch, a Missoula attorney serving as special counsel for the Office of Disciplinary Counsel. It alleges that, quote, Knudsen and lawyers under his supervision routinely and frequently undermine public confidence in the fairness and impartiality of our system of justice by attempting to evade the authority of the Montana Supreme Court and assaulting the integrity of the judiciary and the individual justices who are duly elected by Montana citizens to make decisions. The complaint calls for the state Commission on Practice, a panel including lawyers and non-lawyers appointed by the Supreme Court, to hold a hearing and recommend to the court whether Knudsen should face disciplinary action. They have the authority to recommend anything from a reprimand to, in an extreme case, disbarment. A spokesperson for Knudsen said in a statement to MTN, quote, the Attorney General looks forward to filing his response with the Commission. The allegations are meritless and stem from a legitimate dispute between two branches of government. No one should be persecuted for holding a different opinion than those in power. They went on to accuse Strauch of political bias and question the timing of the complaint. The complaint lists 41 counts against Knudsen, but they essentially boil down to repeated accusations that he or attorneys working for him violated rules of professional conduct for lawyers by disobeying an obligation from a court. The issue dates back to 2021, when Knudsen represented Republican state lawmakers, as they issued subpoenas for and received several thousand internal emails from justices, judges, and court staff to try and uncover alleged bias on the courts. The Supreme Court eventually blocked the subpoenas. The complaint says Knudsen sent letters to justices that re-argued or resisted their rulings, and that he refused to return judicial branch emails when ordered. The Office of Disciplinary Counsel is funded through assessments on practicing Montana attorneys. The current chief counsel, Pam Busey, told MTN she selected Strauch as a special counsel because she had previously run for attorney general and wanted to avoid the appearance of conflict of interest. Busey said the office did receive at least one grievance against Knudsen, but declined to say when the investigation began. A 5-member panel of the Commission on Practice must give approval for a formal complaint to be filed. The commission members who weren't on that panel will be the ones who hold the hearing and determine whether to recommend any disciplinary action. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
The future of charter schools in Montana is in question this noon. A judge placed a temporary halt to the enactment of House Bill 562, which would clear the way for the state to create charter schools exempt from traditional public school rules. For example, teacher certification requirements. A Helena District Court judge says the new law may be unconstitutional based on the power vested in the Board of Public Education and locally elected school boards. The ruling prevents a new community choice school commission under the State Board of Public Education from approving or denying applications for community choice schools. In Bozeman, a business owner is getting a lot of attention after voicing his anger and frustration with the city of Bozeman and its handling of urban camping. MTN's Jolie Salee reports.
Scrolling through social media, you see dozens of Bozeman residents voicing their frustrations daily on our homeless population and urban camping sites. In fact, one Bozeman resident and business owner is fed up with seeing this, and others are right there with him.
Welcome to my Wednesday morning rant on how we need to wake the up here in Bozeman.
Dane Fletcher owns the Pitt training facility in Bozeman, but in the past, he played a little football for MSU, the New England Patriots, and the Buccaneers. He says the Bozeman he left behind to pursue professional football in 2010 has changed drastically.
You know, these campers, these people just, living for free. Meanwhile, our city is bumping up our taxes.
But his main concern?
This all comes down to safety. First came into play when I was thinking about the safety of our middle school kids that come over here from CJ.
Having to walk by all these campers lining the streets.
Just dumping their waste into these parks and their septics into the parks, and people come out daily with needles in them. The story goes on.
And for Fletcher, the thought of anything ever happening to a child,
I mean, it makes me sick.
This is what led him to post a video voicing his concerns on Facebook.
I guess the reason why I did post that video was just to bring attention to it, see how many people kind of react the same way that I do.
1,900 people reacted to the video and 50,000 people have watched it. Many folks took to the comments section, as you can see, mostly agreeing with Fletcher, hopeful for a change.
We have to get the right people in place and take over these positions and take back over Bozeman. It's not responsible what they're doing, and they need to lose their jobs because of it, 100%.
On September 19th, Bozeman City Commissioners will vote whether or not to pass the ordinance that would include a 5-day limit for camping on any one street, restricting camping near residences, businesses, schools, parks, or daycares. Also creating sanitary and personal property requirements, something Fletcher is in favor of.
We got to start stepping up as a community, and we need to start voting more wisely, get the right people in that are going to make the changes, and keep Bozeman Bozeman.
In Bozeman, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
Take a look at your U.S. outlook for this Thursday before we get into our local forecast. Of course, your hot spots down around Phoenix, 108 on the Richter scale today. The heat Richter scale, triple digits in Amarillo and Dallas. We do have near 90 today in Denver. Cooler in Minneapolis, getting up to about 70 in the windy city of Chicago. We'll go 89 in Boston. Going to be hot in New York City today, up to about 94. Seattle 69, down to Los Angeles up to about 73 this afternoon. Weather headlines for you: 48, the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, Central Appalachians. We have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. Parts of the Southern Plains, Lower Mississippi Valley, heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in effect. And portions of the Central Plains, Upper Mississippi Valley, and even Maine, air quality alerts in effect. Eastern side of the state starting to see that smoke move out. Could thicken up briefly again tomorrow morning and then out of the area. Light smoke across the weekend because of this cold front. What does it mean weather-wise for all of us? We'll take a look coming up.
Back in July, I covered a grizzly bear that fatally attacked a woman in West Yellowstone, and now this grizzly bear has been euthanized after breaking into someone's home to steal food.
The adult bear was shot with authorization from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service because of the immediate danger that was posed by the bear's food condition behavior.
Early Saturday morning, game wardens got a report from a West Yellowstone homeowner saying that a grizzly bear with a cub broke into their house through a window while they were home and grabbed a container of dog food.
This bear was euthanized because it entered somebody's home, which is very unsafe behavior, very unnatural behavior for bears.
The 10-year-old female grizzly was originally captured in 2017 for research purposes. The bear was also involved in an encounter in Idaho that injured a person near Henry's Lake. Most recently, 48-year-old Amy Adamson of Kansas was mauled by the bear while running on the Buttermilk Trail in West Yellowstone.
After the incident in July where the woman was killed, there was an extensive effort to trap that bear. We had traps set for several days following that incident in that area of West Yellowstone, but those trapping efforts were not successful.
The cub, a 46-pound male, is being held at FWP's Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Helena while arrangements are made to transfer the cub to a zoo. In Bozeman, Kristen Merkel, MTN News.